everyone, and welcome to Eat to Treat. We are a nonprofit that aims to end health disparities. And with Eat to Treat, I'm Dr. Amaris Williams. I have a PhD in nutrition, and I'm an avid foodie and a cook. And I do live cook-along cooking demonstrations every first and third Saturday of every month. And we do hypertension friendly, so that's blood pressure friendly, and diabetes friendly cooking demonstrations, recipes that won't raise your blood sugar or your blood pressure too much. So today we're making pad thai, which is a noodle dish. So it's not in and of itself, it will raise your blood sugar, but it will it has a lot of fiber because we're using brown rice noodles and vegetables, and so it's not going to raise your blood sugar as much as if you just ate a bowl of pasta. So let's get started. Let me just change the camera angle. So the first thing that we want to do is get your rice noodles, whatever you picked, and put them in some water. So I've got some room temperature water here that doesn't have to be boiling, and I've got several different types of rice noodles. So I've got purple rice noodles. These are a whole grain product, and it's got purple rice, and the only reason why it's purple is because it's got the purple part of the rice in it, which is the whole grain part of the rice. This is also a whole grain product. This is a rice vermicelli. It's just thin, like angel hair pasta, but made with whole grain. I have not tried either of those products yet. They're unopened, but this one I have tried. This one is really good. These are brown rice noodles as well. And then finally, this one, you can also get this. These three that I haven't tried, you can get at Whole Foods. This one you can get at just a regular grocery store. Most grocery stores carry it. And so I've eaten all of that package. So this time I'm going to try these purple rice noodles. I have had purple rice. I have not had purple rice noodles. So we're going to do that. And so what you want to do is take about 4 ounces. So that's 2 packages of these rice noodles. Look at your package and determine how much 4 ounces is, and take your 4 ounces of rice noodles and put it in water. I child-proofed it. Made it so I can't get into it. Alright, we're going to see how these turn out. Alright, so I've got this thing of water here. You guys probably have a sink at your disposal, so definitely just fill up a bowl and put some rice noodles in it. Alright, so set that to the side. I'm going to set it over here. And the next thing we're going to do is cut up our vegetables that are going to be in the pad thai. And I'm going to start with bell pepper because that's what I want to be cooked the most out of all these vegetables. I like my bell pepper very well cooked, so I'm going to put it in the pan first. You can vary the order of your vegetables as you see fit. So, bell pepper is like a box with seeds in it. You just cut the sides off, leaving the interior where the seeds are, you leave that intact. So just cut the sides off. Place down the sides. And then you can throw the rest of it away. And I'm just going to slice my bell pepper. And I've got my fingers curled under so I can't cut my fingertips off or end up with fingernails in my food, which would not be good. So. Alright, almost done with the bell pepper. Okay, so I'm going to turn my pan on to, I'm going to put it at a 4 out of 10, and then put about a tablespoon of olive oil in there. And then go ahead and put your bell pepper or whatever you cut up first in your oil. The next thing I'm going to cut up is the onion. Now, my onion is already peeled. So, if your onion is not peeled, don't worry. I'm going to give you time to peel it while I talk about the nutrition facts. So, if I move over here, you can see me. Okay, so, if you take this recipe and divide it into 4 portions, so that's what it says at the top left. It says 4 servings in this recipe. You will have 370 calories per serving, which is a respectable amount of calories. It's not too high, not too low. It has enough fat and protein that will keep you full without spiking your blood sugar or spiking or causing your blood pressure to rise too much. And there's plenty of fiber in the recipe. Looks like about 3.3 grams of fiber. And yeah, so let's go back to cooking it. So your onion should be peeled by now. And once you've got your onion peeled, cut it in half through the root and the stem. And that's just so that we have a flat surface and it won't roll around on us while we're trying to cut it. And then I'm just going to slice mine. I'm not going to do anything fancy today. Just go ahead and do thin slices. And this is not a tearless onion, so I'm going to try not to cry on screen. This is actually quite a large onion. And then once you get your onion cut, put it in the pan so it can cook. Okay, I made it through without crying. That's great. Hopefully the steam won't come up and make me start crying. But I'm sure there's some of you out there that would like to see that. Okay, I think I'm going to turn it up to a 5 now. That's 5 out of 10, so medium heat. Next is the carrots. I'm going to peel my carrots. You don't have to. You can just cut them up and throw them in there if they're washed. You don't need to peel them. Not like parsnips. Parsnips you definitely want to peel because their peel gets kind of tough. The recipe calls for 2 large carrots. I have 3. I have 1 large and 2 medium carrots. So got a little bit extra. No harm in that. Oh yeah, I'm starting to feel those onions now. Alright, don't forget to stir your food on occasion. You don't want it to brown too much. Okay, I'm just going to cut the top and the tail off of my carrots. And then I'm going to slice them. Now, you can do diagonal slices to kind of make oval shaped pieces, and that will that'll give you these little oval carrot pieces which look fancy, but it's not necessary. You can just cut them at a perpendicular angle. Okay. And then once they're cut, just go ahead and toss them in the pan. I like a good crunch on my carrots, so I cut them kind of thick, and I'm putting them in close to the end of the cooking, so they're not going to get fully cooked. Alright, last carrot. Again, I'm just going to cut the top and the tail off, and then I'm just going to slice this one perpendicular. Faster that way. Okay. Carrots. Well, that's a good carrot. Sometimes you get like bitter carrots, but this is a sweet one. It's good. Alright, next thing in the pan is going to be the zucchini. And this is zucchini. You can tell because it has this squash looking stem on it. Cucumbers do not have a stem, so that's how you can tell it's a zucchini. And I'm just going to do the same thing I did to the carrot and cut the top and the tail off of it. But then once I do that, I'm going to cut it lengthwise. I'm going to stand it up like this, and then just cut it down, straight down the middle. And then I'm going to turn it and cut it straight down the middle again so that I have quarters. If it works. Okay, there we go. Now I'll slice it. Go ahead and put it in the pan. Do the same thing with the other half. We got some zucchini. Some of my pieces didn't get cut apart very well, so I'm just breaking them up in the pan so they cook evenly. Okay, so the vegetables need to cook a little bit longer, and while we're waiting on that, we can put the bean sprouts in there. This is actually 7 ounces of bean sprouts, but I think the recipe calls for 6 ounces. Put as much as you want in there. That is not a moderation item. Plenty of fiber and nutrients in bean sprouts. So let that cook a little bit, and while that's cooking, we can make the sauce that we're going to cook the noodles in. So for that, we need 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. Now, you can go really light on the fish sauce because it has a lot of salt. The original recipe that I started with when I was testing this called for 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. But that's way too much. Like, the barely edible, it was so salty. So, before I put the fish sauce in there, I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. And that's because we're not using tamarind paste, which is the authentic way to make pad thai. The brown sugar will give us the sweetness that tamarind would normally give us, and so we're using brown sugar for that. I'm going to buy some more brown sugar, and then we can add the fish sauce. So I'm using 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, not 3 tablespoons, because that's just way too much. Okay, and then the next up is 3 tablespoons of water. I'm just going to use my rice noodle water. 1, 2, 3, and 2 tablespoons of vinegar. I tried this the first time I made this with rice vinegar, and I used a light seasoned rice vinegar, because a lot of rice vinegars, they put sugar and salt in them, and they call it seasoned rice vinegar. I used a light seasoned one, which has less sugar and less salt in it than regular rice vinegar, and even so, it was still too salty. So I'm using this time apple cider vinegar because it doesn't have salt in it. Let me just make sure that it doesn't have salt in it. Pretty sure it doesn't have salt in it. Yeah, it's just vinegar and water. So 2 tablespoons of vinegar. And then I'm using a low sodium soy sauce. I'm using half a tablespoon. Let's see, question. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on with the sound. Is the video also skipping? And the last thing to go in the sauce is 1 teaspoon of chili sauce, and I'm using sriracha here. Sriracha. And this is to taste. You put as much as you want in there, but keep in mind that pad thai is not a spicy dish. It's more sweet than anything. It's kind of sweet and tangy. So we don't want to make it spicy, unless you do want to make it spicy. I did get a new internet provider, so hopefully that's not the problem with the sound and the video. It's not a well-liked internet provider, but none of them are, so. Alright, and I used a whisk to stir mine up. You can also put all your sauce ingredients in a jar and shake it, or you can use a fork. You don't have to use a whisk. Okay, so I think the vegetables are cooked enough. The onion is translucent. The bell pepper is probably not cooked enough for my taste, but cooked enough for most people's taste. And the zucchini is starting to get soft. So what I'm going to do now is turn off the heat and then take all the vegetables out and put it in the bowl. The carrot escaped. And then in the same pan, we're going to cook the eggs, the shrimp, the noodles, and the sauce together. Okay. So, your noodles, you can go ahead and put your sauce in your pan. I'm going to stir it up one more time, though, first. And put it in there. But keep your bowl and your fork or your whisk or whatever you started with, because we're going to beat the eggs in that bowl. Then go ahead and drain your noodles. And then take your noodles and put it in the sauce. I'm just going to use my hand and get in there because I did not bring anything to help me drain the noodles. And now I'm going to turn the heat back on. I've got it on 5 out of 10. And then I'm going to crack my eggs and put it in the bowl. Then I'll give them a light beating. That was probably more than a light beating. It was an excessive beating. I'm glad that somebody is hearing what I'm saying. Hopefully it's not a systemic issue. Okay, so now that our sauce is simmering away, I'm going to add my shrimp. Go ahead and add the shrimp and stir that in there. And then once the sauce is reduced down and it's starting to stick to the noodles, then we're going to add the egg. I think I'm going to turn it up a little bit. I'm at 6 out of 10 now because I just put cold shrimp in there and it cooled down my pan. So once that gets back up to temperature and the sauce starts to thicken, I'm going to scoot everything to one side and then put the egg in the side without all the other stuff in it. And then we're almost done. I love the shrimp. One more shrimp. Once we get the shrimp and the eggs and the noodles cooked to our liking, we're going to put it in the bowl with the vegetables and stir it up, and then put some cilantro in there, stir that in there, and then we'll be ready to eat. So go ahead and call your family members to the table so they can start setting their places. Alright, So while we're waiting on the sauce to reduce down, we can chop up the cilantro. Now the cilantro is of course optional. Not everybody likes cilantro. It's definitely a personal preference food. You can also use parsley, but it's not authentic. So all I did was cut crosswise across the bunch, and then once I got to the stems where it was mostly stems and not too many leaves, I just threw that away. But cilantro stems are not like parsley stems. They're not too pungent, so you can eat cilantro stems should you decide to do so. Alright, so my sauce is reduced down to almost nothing, so I'm going to push everything to the side and then put the egg in there. And I'm going to let the egg set for about 30 seconds without touching it. So, let it cook. Okay, maybe not a full 30 seconds because it's cooking pretty quickly. I don't want to turn it into an omelet. And then I'll mix it in with everything else. And my shrimp are starting to turn pink. Almost all of them. And the egg will make the noodles kind of sticky, in addition to the thickening sauce, which is what we want. But keep stirring it, don't just let it sit, because the noodles will burn and stick to the bottom of the pan. And I'm going to let the egg cook a little bit more because I like fully cooked egg. I'm not a raw egg person. But my shrimp are cooked. They're pink and opaque. And I'm going to turn the heat off. Put my cilantro in with my vegetables. And then add my, oh, this pan is heavy. Add my protein. Ah. I need more arm strength. Okay. Now you just stir it up and then serve it up. Stir it up and serve it up. These purple noodles did not do as well as the Thai noodles did when I was testing this recipe. They've turned into a mass that won't separate. But if you can manage to stir it up and it separates, then your dish is done. But mine won't separate. Okay, well, you can also taste it now. I think you do not need to add salt. You got fish sauce and soy sauce in there. There's no need to add any more salt to this. If you taste it and you feel like you're lacking flavor, try adding something else that's not salt. Like an herb or another spice, like maybe more sriracha sauce or some Thai basil or something else like garlic. We haven't put any garlic in here. There's no ginger in there. Those are options. I wouldn't put raw garlic and ginger in there, but definitely you can saute some and then in some oil and then add it to the pad thai. Okay, so that's it for the pad thai. I'm gonna keep mixing mine until it is mixed, and then I'm gonna eat it because it smells really good in here. And my cat is circling. She smells the shrimp. Um, so let's do a quick outro so we can all eat. Today we made pad thai. Thank you for joining. It's a blood pressure friendly meal. If you watch your serving sizes on the zucchini and the noodles, it's also a diabetes friendly meal. And okay, yep, sound is good. All right, wonderful. Where was I? Diabetes friendly meal, and I'll be back on the third Saturday of the month, which I believe is the 20th. And we'll be making something else. I haven't decided yet what that is, but I hope to see you there. Hit the bell icon after you hit subscribe, and you'll be notified of the next demo, and you can see what it is. It's a surprise to all of us. Okay, bye.